Good afternoon and welcome to ENG3E Term 2A, brought to you by Wausau Distance Education Center. I'm your instructor, Mike Laverty, and today is Wednesday, March the 1st, 2023. We are on class 14 of our course. This will be our final class discussing Unit 2, and we'll be doing Part 2 of our culminating activity. So we spent about 7-8 minutes on it yesterday, and I want to devote a full class to the culminating activity today. So we are in week 4 of our classes in Term 2A. Just a reminder that we'll be doing a Fun Friday broadcast. That'll be myself and 2 other employees from Wausau. We'll be doing a Friday broadcast on March 3rd at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. So just want to put a plug in for that, and you can phone in and receive a fun prize. You can participate on Facebook by commenting on the post itself. So we'll be putting a poster on the Facebook page. So if you like that, comment on that. You'll be eligible for a free prize. But yeah, we're just trying to find other ways to communicate with students and let you know what's happening at Wausau, and give you an opportunity for you to phone in and participate live in the broadcast. And if you're on Facebook, please join the new keyword new Wausau Facebook. If you look on Facebook and type in Wausau, you should see the new one pop up. So please like that page, share it, comment on it, and get it out there on your network. That would be fantastic. So we've finished Unit 1. After today's class, we'll have Unit 2 wrapped up, and then we'll have 3 more to go, Units 3, 4, and 5. And more than likely have, 1 week to go over the final exam. So things are moving along smoothly, more or less where I thought we'd be at this point. So it's my first time teaching this class, so I'm still a bit unsure on how to space things out, but so far so good, and it looks like we'll have plenty of time at the end. So if there's anything that we feel that we either rushed over or didn't quite give enough attention to, then I can even ask students what they think they'd like to go over. I could even put a survey out to everybody enrolled in the course and just see if there's anything we need to cover in more detail. So if you're listening on the radio at 91.9 FM, that's fantastic. Thanks for tuning in. Please be aware you can always phone into the studio at 1-807-737-4017 or the toll-free number 1-800-465-7144. And we have a Zoom link, so that's another way you can interact with the course. So if you go to zoom.us and type in the meeting ID, that's 417-6699-799. You can access this class every Monday through Thursday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 1 p.m. to 1:55 p.m. Central Standard Time. Check out my YouTube channel at Laverty Wausau. Just search for Laverty Wausau. You'll find my YouTube channel. If you just search for Wausau, you'll find other teachers who worked for the organization who are also posting their videos online. Please reach out to me at mlaverty@nnecschools.org. So that's mlaverty@nnecschools.org. You can find me on Facebook by searching Laverty Wausau. That's the same as my name on YouTube, and that is my professional account. So I will only talk about Wausau related things on that page. So, and I don't post too much on my page, but I will send out reminders to students. So, but it's just a good way for us to communicate, especially through Messenger. You can exchange assignments with me through Messenger. You can ask me questions on there, so it's a very useful tool for communication. please feel free to phone me at 1-807-737-1488. My extension's 2211. Or if you get the receptionist, just ask for Mike. Or you can phone the free long-distance number, which is 1-800-667-3703. And I'm here from 9 to 3, Monday through Friday. I teach Monday to Thursday from 1 to 3, so unless you're phoning into the class, it's going to be hard for me to talk to you. Fridays, I'm usually at my desk all day. Of course, this Friday from 11 till 12, I will be back in the studio broadcasting our Fun Friday. Just a friendly reminder, so if you're 3.5 weeks into the course, and, you know, as I've mentioned many times before, even if you're an independent learner, you should still set yourself up on a timeline. It's good to keep the material fresh in your mind. So if possible, I think it's best to do that. Complete the course on like a 9 or 10 week schedule. And if you're 3.5 weeks into the course, you should have made contact with your teacher, read the study guide, Unit 1 and Unit 2 of ENG3E, finished all the assignments from Unit 2, and started working on the Unit 2 assignments. So if you're 3.5 weeks into it, should have Unit 1 taken care of, and be well upon your way to completing the assignments in Unit 2. And just a reminder, those assignments include the unit assignments, so the numbered assignments that are in your handout. And that also includes the textbook assignments. That's from Making It Work and the Road Ahead anthology. So you don't have to do all the assignments in those textbooks because that would take you a long time. All you have to do is complete the assigned questions, and that's also found in your unit handout. And every question from the units is covered in one of my classes, right? So if you go back, and I do list those assignments in the descriptions of the YouTube video. So if you go to the YouTube playlist, you'll be able to go to the specific unit playlist. So, for example, let's say you're looking for, question 7 from Unit 1. You can go to the Unit 1 playlist, and then in the video description and sometimes in the title itself, I will specify which assignment that I'm working on. All right, so today we will have our article of the day. That's construction program aims to build skills for women. And we'll have a closer look at our culminating activity, a career of interest. So our learning goals are to break down a news report published in the Bay Today. So that's thebaytoday.ca. And while we'll do that, we will review the parts of speech and take notes while watching a live demonstration. That'll be myself completing the quizzes and job search for the culminating activity. And you'll know you've been successful if you can do the following. Reflect upon your own work experience and future plans before completing the online quizzes. So before you complete assignment 1, there are 3 online quizzes you take. These are the career surveys found on the Government of Canada's Job Bank site. And practice the writing process to guide the completion of your culminating activity. All right, so like I mentioned, I usually get my articles from the Globe and Mail, but this is the Bay Online. Did I get that right? Not the Bay Online, the Bay Today, which is an online publication as well as a print. So the Bay Today published this article from David Briggs on February 7th, 2023. The headline reads, Construction Program Aims to Build Skills for Women. So we got our headline up here. We've got our photograph. And the photograph that accompanies this is, a carpenter's pencil, the carpenter's square, and of course, the tape measure, right? So the three common tools used by carpenters and framers and people who build houses. And the byline, which is who wrote it and where they published it and when they published it, is David Briggs. Published this article on February 7th, 2023 in the Bay Today. And the caption reads, "Women are invited to apply for a free carpentry program at Canadore College." And the photo credit is stock image. So they must have purchased the image from like an online source. So there's our headline. I've got prepositions in red. I've got my nouns in blue. I've got my verbs in green and my adjective, which should be orange but looks more like kind of like a pink peach color. But let's delve into that headline. So, construction program aims to build skills for women. So, it's always good to identify the subject of the sentence. So, the subject would be these first two words right here. I mean, the subject is really this program. But it's not just any program. It's a special program. It's a construction program. So the word construction functions like an adjective, and it modifies the noun program. So it tells us which kind of program it is. And that's what a very common use of an adjective is to tell us which type of something is. You've got like a high performance athlete, a casual athlete, a professional athlete, a non-professional athlete, right? It tells you which type of something you're dealing with. Or it gives a description, like a red hat or a black hat. So this program aims, that's your verb. And just a little reminder upon our grammar. We haven't done this in a little while, but that's our predicate. Everything that's said about the subject. So, construction program aims to build skills for women. So, to and for are prepositions. These are relationships skills. So, we have skills for women. So, to and from, those are to, from, for. Those are prepositions. So the program aims to build skills. That's the main sentence. But then we have additional information. We learned that it's for women, and skills and women are our nouns in the program, or in the sentence. So program, skills, and women. And often, like if you took a sentence and you only knew the nouns, like program, skills, women, it might help you understand the sentence on a little bit. Nouns in a sense are like the foundational concept of a sentence. They're the things in the sentence. They're the people, places, and ideas that we're talking about. But of course, the verbs really make them come alive because they tell us what those things are doing or what's happening to them. And then words like adjectives and prepositions and adverbs, these are like additional words that give us more information about our nouns and our verbs. So I would say, nouns are probably the most important. Verbs come in second. And then probably prepositions and then adjectives and adverbs second. It's kind of like when you're writing something, you figure out what you're going to write about, and then you figure out, how you're going to write about it and what's going to happen in the story. But usually, it's the who's involved in the story. And that kind of goes with like newspaper articles too, right? We usually hear, who or what's involved first, and then we hear about, what happened, how it happened. So here is our article. I'll read a bit of that and try and highlight a couple of I guess not quite grammatical, but just elements of writing that we can focus on, that we can sort of copy and emulate and learn from. So Canadore College is accepting applications for a 23-week pre-apprenticeship carpentry program, which begins April 24th, 2023. The program is open to low-income women with at least 16 high school credits, usually acquired after grade 10, but a grade 12 diploma is preferred. You must also be over 19 years of age. For those accepted, the program is free to take. Interested? Question mark. An information session is being held at the North Bay Indigenous Friendship Center's gym on Friday, February 10th from 1 to 3 p.m. The center is located at 980 Castle Street, and by attending, you'll have all of your questions answered, including whether or not you fit all of the criteria for acceptance. Plus, lunch will be provided. And so, like most news reports and press releases and things of that nature, they will open up with the most important details. So details such as like when the program starts, when the program starts and who is allowed to take the program is got to be, up there with the most important things to know about the program. There's probably much more things we could learn about the program, like where it's going to be taught and how much it's going to cost, right? And what type of lessons they'll be teaching, right? So all that stuff's important, but right off the bat, they're leading with when it starts and who it's open to, right? Really important questions, right? Because if you're not eligible for the program, then your interest in it drops off considerably, right? And if you don't know when it starts, then it's sort of like it's just out there. You don't know when it starts. You don't know if it's for you, but that's just a way that we call that point first writing, and it applies for when you're giving a speech, when you're writing a paper. It's good to open with your main ideas and your most critical information. And usually when you write online, like this magazine article, the most important stuff comes first. The deadline to apply for the program is March 24th. However, the organizers encourage women to apply as soon as you can, as space is limited and tends to go fast. So after March 24th, they used a comma, where I would have used a semicolon, and they've used the coordinating word, however, correctly. Organizers encourage women to apply as soon as possible. Okay. If accepted, students will learn at Canadore's Commerce Court campus in North Bay, and all expenses for tuition, tools, and personal protective equipment will be covered, courtesy of the Government of Ontario through the Women's Economic Security Program. So I'll just highlight one thing. So they've used the opening phrase, if accepted, comma. So we call those introductory phrases. Sometimes they're just one word, like nevertheless or however, right? But sometimes they're two words, like if accepted, during the break, comma, after the war, comma. So it sets up the context. So, if you're accepted, this is true. Once accepted, comma, so that's another introductory phrase, right? So once accepted, comma, and then you have a quote, you will be guided and supported in culturally inclusive strategies during training and placement, the college explained, with continued support as you transition into the workplace or further education. So always good to quote the source. This is the 5th time the program has run, and we take up to 22 people for the class, explained Marissa Gillies-Linklater, the project lead for the chorus. So after they introduce this woman's name, they put a comma, and then they say who she is. So that's a common tactic that you can use in your own writing. You introduce an idea, or you introduce someone's name, and then you put comma. You tell more information about that person, And if that's the end of the sentence, you put a period. But if there's more to the sentence, you put another comma, and you continue along. So it's like I could be like, my older brother, comma, Matthew, comma, is coming to see me this Christmas. And then they have a few more quotes from the college administrators, and then they have the contact information to get in touch, right? So this was just an example of an article that I found online, but it's also a perfect example of, like, let's say carpentry is something that you want to get into. You could include this article in your research. So your culminating activity has two components. You're completing the online quizzes from the Government of Canada's Job Bank, but then you're also doing research into a career of interest. So if you find articles such as this one, you can print those off, save them as PDFs, scan them, whatever the case may be, and include that as part of your research, and then talk about it too. So there's lots of information out there. You just need to include it. You need to include the relevant stuff. So it's gonna have to be related to the job that's your career of interest. So the as we mentioned yesterday, the culminating activity has two parts. So assignment 1 is a career survey worth 20 marks. And assignment 2, the second part, is who I would like to be, which is worth 40 marks. So 60 marks in total. And we'll go through this because we didn't really finish it yesterday. So we're going to go back to this step 1 here. So it's a career survey. And we're visiting the Government of Canada's online job bank. And we're taking their 3 career planning quizzes. So they have their quiz. You take it, and then it gives you some feedback on where you are. So it gives you feedback on your responses. So the first one gave me a bunch of job postings. That was my interest. And then we'll see the other 2. And then once you've taken those surveys, then you have to write at least 5 sentences to describe a little about what you have found. So essentially what you're producing here is a paragraph of writing, but that paragraph of writing is all about what you found. So we'll do a new share here. And we'll go to, let's see, are we on? Yeah, so you should see my Google screen. So if you just search Government of Canada Job Bank, I think I spelled Canada wrong, but it still knew what I was looking for. Yeah. It auto-corrects my bad spelling of Canada, which is great. So if you click on the job bank, and so we were here yesterday. So the main part of this website is to list jobs that you can apply for. But in addition to that, they have these other tools, and that's so up at the top you'll see career planning. It's also down here at the bottom, so you can choose career planning down here. I think both of them bring us to the same spot. Yeah. Take a career quiz. So we're going to take a quiz. So yesterday I did the interest quiz, which is to see where your interests lie and explore what type of job suits you well. So, and a lot of the questions had to do with, like, do you like working with people, ideas, or things, right? And, college instructor came up, an art director came up, which is really cool. So I had a bunch of jobs come up there, but I'm going to, and I didn't save my results. So today I'm going to remember to do that. So I am going to take my time and make sure I get that result. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking the second quiz, the abilities. So see what careers match your abilities. Everyone has tasks that they find. I'm reading from the website. Everyone has tasks that they find easier to perform over others. Occupations have different sets of tasks that use various levels and combinations of skills. To find out which careers you're most likely to succeed in, test your strength level in a variety of different areas, including motor coordination, manual and finger dexterity, verbal, numerical, and learning ability, and spatial form and clerical perception. Okay. So, um, right, and then they do give you the option of signing in, or making an account. So we'll look at that after I take this survey. So seeing fine details in objects. So I'm rating this from difficult to easy. So do I find this easy or do I find this difficult? I'm gonna say neutral. Making a three-dimensional 3D pencil or digital drawing of an object. I think I would find that very difficult. Checking for mistakes in adding or subtracting. Yeah, I think I can do that. Giving the exact change, I could do that. Threading a needle, not really my thing. Catching on quickly and reasoning things out, I'll give that a 4 out of 5. Solving math problems, 3 out of 5. Identifying mistakes in printed or digital documents, I'll give it a 5 out of 5. That's my thing. Inspecting things for details such as coloring, scratches, dust, and flaws, I'll give that a 2. Learning and understanding things quickly, I'll give it a 3. You got to be humble too, right? You can't just answer everything that's easy, right? Just be honest, right? Using a keyboard from a computer, a tablet, or a cell phone, yep, that's good for me, 5. Reading and understanding written material, 5 out of 5. Hitting a moving object, such as a baseball with a bat, I'll give it a 3. Sorting things quickly, 2. Writing and correcting text, that's a 5. Moving your hands to manipulate things, a 2. Choosing the best box in which to put an object, I don't know, 2. Understanding signs at the bus terminal in the subway, sure, 4 out of 5. Moving and turning objects, I'm neutral, 3. Understanding and using new words easily, that's a 5 for me. Collecting data and analyzing statistics, 4 out of 5. I like doing it, but I don't know if I'm that great at it. Using hand tools to adjust machines, that's a 2 for me. Understanding and applying principles of geometry, maybe a 1. I'll go for it 2. Expressing information and ideas easily and clearly, all 4 to 5. Sorting small objects into trays, I don't know. It's not hard, but 2. Picking up tiny objects, 2. I don't want to do that. Making accurate statements, 4 to 5. Identifying differences between two similar images, 4 to 5. Figuring out and solving problems, 3 out of 5. Repairing small objects using your fingers, 1 out of 5. That does not seem like me at all. Finding the information I need, 4 out of 5. Imagining what someone would look like from seeing what something would look like from seeing a diagram, 3. Understanding math concepts, 3. Taking things apart, putting them back together, 2. Quickly and precisely writing a text message, 4 out of 5. Understanding instructions or ideas that are explained to you, 4. Transferring numbers or other information from one place to another without errors, 3. Using hand tools, 2. Recognizing small parts of machinery, again, 2. All right. So now I'm going to get my results, okay? So and we'll see what they say. So and you see what they do is same as what we did yesterday is once you have your results, they give you a list of jobs that apply to you based on the answers you gave. So, and this skill breakdown is actually pretty useful, right? So I'm actually just gonna copy and paste this. I'm wondering if it'll let me print it as a PDF. Yeah, it is. Okay, so there we go. So that's the step that I. Does it have everything? It just. Oh no, it does. Okay. Didn't include the colors, but it has the numbers and all that. That's good. So I'm gonna save that as a PDF, and I'm gonna save that to my desktop, and I'm gonna hit save. So I right clicked on it, and then I hit print, and then instead of printing to a printer, I printed to a PDF. I printed to save as PDF. So very useful skill, very useful tech thing you can do, right? So that's what I've done. So my verbal ability, That is my ability to understand the meaning of words and ideas associated with them, writing paragraphs and sentences. So no surprise to me. That's my number one skill. My clerical perception, the ability to perceive pertinent detail in verbal and tabular material, to observe differences in copy, to proofread words and numbers, and to avoid perceptual errors in arithmetical computation. So, yeah, you could always copy and paste that, and let's see. You can use this stuff in your assignments, right? So, clerical, right? So, not sure if you can see what I'm doing there, but yeah, I just open up a Word document and I copy and pasted that. You know what clerical skills, what that actually means. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna look at those job postings. So, oh, whoops, I lost it. Did it come back? Okay, next. There it is. So insurance underwriter. I don't know if I want to be an insurance underwriter. Look at that, secondary school teacher. That one's popping up again. So what you might want to do is you might want to make note of the jobs that that catch your interest, but also keep coming up, right? So library, archive, museum, art gallery manager. That one came up for me. Managers in social, community, and correctional services. An accountant, a broker, a financial examiner, an inspector, financial investigator, health policy research. That's what my wife does. Library, archive, museum, and art gallery manager. Right. So I like that. I like the art gallery one. I'm gonna keep going with that one. So and then you see at the top it says you'll need N is no formal education, H is high school, C is college or apprenticeship, and U is university. So you can see what kind of level you need to get that job. So to get my current job, secondary school teachers, you do need a university education. This one doesn't take too long. Okay, so rank these activities. All right. So working with people, working with things, working with information. So I'm gonna go with the 1, 2, 3. Well, now I'm gonna reset that. I'm gonna go with 1, 2, and 3. How do you prefer to work with data and information? You prefer identify. Oh, it's gotta be 1. Follow simple instructions. Do calculations. Put together, collect, store, sort information, examine existing information from different angles, develop step-by-step processes by combining. I'm going to go discover new facts or knowledge by combining. I like that one. So people, how do I prefer to work with people? I would rather not work with people? Do I help people with their tasks, interact with people in an efficient, effective way to give information, basic instructions? Amuse, move, or divert people. No. Lead a group. Transfer knowledge. Yeah, transfer knowledge. Teach, train people. That's my thing. And things. Use your body to move objects. Insert, throw, or dump place materials in and out of a machine. Perform manual work. Drive a vehicle. Constantly monitor or check things. Use your hands, body, or tools with great skill to move, place, guide small objects. If I had to pick one of these, I'd probably maybe drive a vehicle. That sounds pretty cool. And then I'm going to get more results, right? So art instructors and teachers, biologists, biomedical engineers, chemists, community pharmacists, hospitals, pharmacists, that kind of thing, right? So again, just pay attention to what jobs are coming up. And then just choose one of those careers and then kind of roll with it, right? So But for this step, you're just simply taking the survey and just saying, like you might want to list like the top jobs that came up in each category, right? So under interest, this job came up. Under my let's see, what are the three quizzes we've got? So under the interest quiz, this one came up. Under the abilities quiz, this one came up. And under the work activities, these jobs came up, right? So just talk about your experience answering the questions and which jobs came up. And if you want, there's also the multiple intelligence survey, there's the learning style survey, and there's the work value survey. So if you want to take those, absolutely take them. It'll give you more information. But yeah, you don't need to overthink it. You have to write a paragraph with at least 5 sentences to describe a little bit about what you've found. So, even if you just pick, maybe 3 jobs that you found, and you could write a sentence for each one of the quizzes and what you found. So, and just, when I took the interest skill, the top job was this, but I also found this job. So don't overthink it. You're just simply reflecting upon that experience, the skills. Like, were you surprised by the results? Did the results make sense to you? Did you find the job you already have? Did you find the job that you dreamed about? Did you find the job that totally surprised you? Right. So just think about it in those terms, right? And then just write your paragraph. Assignment 2 is research some information on your career of interest. So for assignment 2, so the second part of this culminating activity, you've got to pick one of those careers. And then you've got to find some information about it, including job postings, or like I mentioned, if you find like a newspaper article or a blog or some source of information that's talking about that job, you can include that. And then you're writing a report of what you found, 3/4 to a full page. You need to include a title page worth 5 marks. That includes a graphic, that's a picture or a sketch, along with your name, the chorus, and the date. You need to do a draft or a rough copy and a final copy. Draft is worth 15 marks, final copy is worth 20, for a total of 45. Sorry, total of 40. And so some websites you can go to are careerprocanada.ca, careers.indigenous.link, indeed.com, linkedin.com, or look for local or regional websites that might lead you down the right path. So for myself, I'm going to go back to Google here, and let's go back to the job bank itself. And let's use the job bank. So see where it says location? I'm going to use my current location. Okay, I'm going to allow it to know that. So that's my postal code where I'm working from, right? And I'm going to look for art gallery. So not too surprising. There's not too many art galleries. I might bump up my search to, let's do 500K. Why not? Oh, we still did not find it. If you look for a job and you don't find it, you can just type in the top job categories. And let's see if we can find one that had something to do with those things that I looked at. Let's see, chefs, food welders, early childhood educators and assistants, home support workers, corporate sales manager, let's see, plumbers, translators would be cool, but I only speak one language, so that really wouldn't work for me. Let's see, accounting technicians and bookkeepers, right? So let's try it. I've never really been an accountant, but that did come up in my search results, right? So let's see, we got a bookkeeper, an accounting bookkeeper. Let's see, Long Lac Fresh Market, East Side Coatings. Let's see, Thunder Bay. All right, so this is Canadian Pathway Immigration Services. Okay, so I'm going to look at that. So I found this. It says direct apply. I'm going to click on it. And so let's just say that I pick accountant as my career of interest. Now I found this job, so that's a bookkeeper. So that's the Canadian Pathway Immigration Services. So they are permanent employment, 23.20 an hour, 35 to 40 hours per week. My education, I need a secondary high school graduation certificate, so that's what I need to get this program, so I don't need to take any additional qualifications. I need to calculate and prepare checks for payroll, keep financial records, and establish, maintain, and balance various accounts using manual and computerized bookkeeping systems. So tax returns, maintain general ledgers and financial statements. So your general ledger is usually like your that's your revenues, how much money you're bringing in, um, your expenses, how much you're spending, your assets, the things you own, your liabilities, the debts that you've got to pay back, things like that. I would need to know about QuickBooks. I know a little bit about QuickBooks. I'm not a huge I'm not great at it, but I could certainly do it. And personal suitability is accurate, dependability, organized, reliability, right? And so what you might want to do is, you find a career of interest, and then so you pick the career, and then you find out information about like certain job postings. Yesterday I showed you sulikoutjobs.com, and if I go back here and I go to current jobs and I go to category and I wonder if sales and service, business and administration. I don't see finance on here, but I think that business and administration would be the closest one. And if I search by that category, I'll see what comes up. An accommodations clerk, a finance clerk, a finance assistant, administrative assistant, so finance clerk level 2, finance officer, Sioux Lookout. Okay, so this is with us, the Northern Anishinaabe Education Council. Let's just have a look at that. Let's say I want to be a finance officer with NNEC. And I scroll down. It's a full-time job. It got posted on February 16th. Qualifications: a degree or diploma in accounting or business admin and 2 years of accounting experience. Right. So this is asking for more information than the bookkeeper at that Pathway to Immigration Services in Winnipeg. So they're asking for more. They're not listing how much money they're going to pay. So sometimes the jobs do that. Salary level to commensurate with education and experience. So usually they say something like that, and it'll depend on how much skills and experience you have, and then you can negotiate how much they're going to pay you, right? So for this assignment, remember you're writing a report on, and then you're reporting on your research, right? So I'm hoping that's clear to you that's what you're reporting on, is the research you did. So, I would suggest that you find, let's just draft up some notes here, right? So if you're working on this, the second part of the assignment, assignment 2, that's your report. So what you want to do is you want to gather up, I don't know, like 3 to 5. I would gather up, say, 3 to 5 documents. You don't need to. You're only spending 3/4 to a full page on this. So you don't need to find like 10 job postings and right. So I would limit yourself. Gather up 3 to 5 documents that you can discuss, um, that you will discuss in the report. And I would say that these documents will include job postings. It could include company websites. It could include news reports on your career, or anything you think is useful in terms of giving you more information about this career, and how you could you could potentially work in this field. Okay, so one thing I'm just thinking about is you might want to look at company websites, right? So like thinking about our cover letter and our resume examples from yesterday. When you're drafting a cover letter and a resume, and you're explaining to the person why you're a good fit for the organization. Speaking from experience, I know that employers love to hear when employees can cite information about the job they're applying for, and they can appear knowledgeable about the company they're applying at, right? So it really helps, right? So for example, if I go to this bookkeeper job in Winnipeg, it's with Canadian Pathway Immigration Services. So if I just copy and paste that and plug that into my Google browser, they're on Facebook. I've got their website. So here they are, Canadian Pathway Immigration Services. And then I can find out more information about them. Family sponsorship, immigration consultants, work permits, study visas, super visas, employment agencies, more listing, calculators, immigration news. So they've got news about immigration in Canada. So let's go to home. I think we're already here. Immigrate to Canada. Let's go to family sponsorship. Services, citizenships, contact us to find us if you are eligible to apply for Citizenship Canadian Experience class. Are you eligible, right? So this website is telling us about, it could get me in touch with these immigration consultants. So so people who are thinking about moving to Canada, they would review these consultants, and then those people would help them get into the country and find the best routes to doing that. So we got family sponsorships, we've got let's see, work permits, study visas. Yeah, kind of a confusing website. It's not entirely clear to me like what this organization does. I just want to make sure I'm on the right website here. Just clicking on their Facebook page, and let's see here. Sometimes finding the right web page is a lot harder than you think about, right? But I went to their Facebook page, and I found that this website right here was listed, and that wasn't the one that I was just on. So Let's see if I can get that page to load up. Doesn't want to work for me today. There we go. Okay. So there we go. So we've got Canadian Pathway Immigration Services. So you could go through this website and you could see, what this organization offers, and you would get a sense of what you'd be responsible for if you were to work for this organization, right? So it's good to pick a career of interest, but then even better to find like a potential workplace that you could work at. I know Winnipeg is far away for sure, 5 hours, but like but you could talk about that in your report. Like just say like, are you willing to move to a different city, different community? Do you want to stay in your home community? Can you find jobs in your home community that will, that you can work? But you can also do like a hypothetical situation. You could talk about like a what if situation. Like what if I were to work in this job, and what kind of changes that would have to apply for like you and your family and things like that. So yeah, you're really just it's an exercise in like making a vision for the future, and you don't necessarily have to do it, right? So you find those documents, and then in your report you will discuss your chosen you'll discuss your chosen career. I would also I would do like why why you chose this career. You should, and then so discuss your chosen career. You need to discuss a few, even if it's just like 1 to 2, right? 1 to 2 like potential places, or organizations where where you could work. Should also mention like if the career that you choose requires, let's say, how do I say this, additional training or education, you might, or you should discuss that as well. And to do that, you could find an academic program that you could enroll in to become eligible for that job. So yeah, so that's a good key point for us to end on for this assignment. So this is a visioning exercise where you're taking an assessment of who you are right now, of your current interest and skills and education, and just how ready you are today for a job. But then you take those surveys, you learn a bit about yourself, you reflect upon it, and then you find a career that you might want to do someday, right? And so don't limit yourself to your current situation. Just think about it as an exercise to imagine, to have fun, to see yourself in a job, right? So just do that, and then just talk about the steps you would have to take to get that job, and just talk about a couple places where you could see yourself working. So hopefully that's helpful. If you have any questions about the culminating assignment, please reach out to me, and I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll start Unit 3.